Hi, everyone. My name is Vince Zappa. I'm the Chief Product Officer here at CENTEGIX. I want to thank you for your time and interest in learning more about CENTEGIX and our products. Today, we have a content-rich session for you. It's focused on covering our best-in-class emergency response product, Crisis Alert, along with our two latest products, our new mapping product named Safety Blueprint, and also our visitor management solution. Today, we have three presenters. First will be Rob Kent, who will give you an overview of Crisis Alert, of which is used by approximately 5,000 schools today. Second will be Sylvia Ift, who is a product manager for Safety Blueprint here at CENTEGIX, and she'll give you an overview of that product. And last, Emily Faluzis, who heads up our Identikid product, which is also used actually by over 7,000 schools. So we hope that you find this session informative and productive. And I'm certain that during the session, there'll be questions. So please feel free to ask in the chat Q&A section capability that you have. We'll reserve time after the presentations to answer those questions. So now let's get started. Rob, can you kick us off?
Yeah, sure. Thanks, Vince. As Vince mentioned, my name is Rob Kent. I run business development for CENTEGIX, focused mostly on Crisis Alert. We've got a much larger presentation around Crisis Alert with a lot more detail, but we wanted just to give you a very high overview of and quick demo of how the product actually works. So what we have is a badge-based emergency notification system, essentially a panic badge. It runs independent of Wi-Fi, independent of cellular. It's given to every single staff member inside of the school. And really the four main things that differentiate us compared to the other solutions that are out there. One, it's the simplicity, right? So the badge doesn't have to pair to a phone. The teachers don't need to have something installed on their phone. It's literally one button, and it is literally just push button help comes. So it can't get any more simple than that. The second one is total campus coverage. So because it doesn't rely on Wi-Fi, because it doesn't rely on cellular, we're able to guarantee that we've got coverage throughout the entire campus. So every room inside, everywhere outside in athletic fields, parking lots, playgrounds, that kind of thing. So where you're susceptible to dead zones through Wi-Fi or cellular, this technology is not susceptible to that. So anyone can get help no matter where they are. Along with that is very precise location information. So one of the things that we got a lot of feedback from, especially from, say, SROs who are inside the building, with some of the other solutions that are based on GPS, when someone pushes a button, it's going to show them, hey, the issue is in this building. You should go to this building. Well, the SROs and sponsors, they're already inside the building. That's not really helpful for them. So they wanted a better way that they could know where to go provide help. So we have very precise location information. Someone pushes the button, and when they push that button, we can identify where they are inside of that building or on that campus within a fair degree of precision. And we can identify which floor they're on as well. Really important to note that this badge does not track people, but when they push this button, that's when we can identify their location. And then the last thing, if it's a campus-wide emergency like a lockdown, right? Someone sees a gun on campus. It's really important to notify everyone. There are certain technologies out there that focus on notifying 911 or focus on notifying the staff that there's an issue. The challenge with that, and Sylvia, if you can go to the next slide, the FBI has collected the stats from all the school shootings that have happened across the US. And what they found is that when there's a school shooting that happens, after 911 is notified, it takes between 3 and 5 minutes for law enforcement to respond to that campus, which is actually really fast. In a rural environment, it's going to take a little bit longer. But if we look at Parkland as the example, there are actually 24 people who were shot in the first minute and 45 seconds, right? So it doesn't matter how fast police get there. They cannot get there statistically. They cannot get there fast enough to intervene at the beginning of that event. So we know the only way to keep people safe is to integrate with lights, sounds, let everyone on campus know that they need to initiate their lockdown procedures, get to safety. So I'll show you how that works now. So this badge will do two different things. It will do what we call a staff alert, and it will do what we call a campus-wide alert or a lockdown. Now, the staff alert, this is all the day-to-day stuff that happens, right? Sylvia, if you can go to the next slide. This is the medical emergencies. These are the fights. This is the angry parent that gets in the teacher's face. It's the kid that goes for a run, or what we call elopement, right? These are all the day-to-day things that happen where staff members, teachers feel like they just need some extra help and extra support. And it's very simple. Sylvia, if you can advance, we show them the control panel. So this is our control panel that shows a map of a school as an example, right? Staff member feels like they need help. They take this badge and they just press it 3 times, 1, 2, 3. It just takes a couple of seconds and it pops up on the control panel as an audible notification on the mobile devices. So on both on the desktop and the mobile device, they're going to get this map. The response team they're going to see exactly where that individual is located. Now, this map is absolutely key, right? It's one thing for a notification to be sent to the response team to say, hey, Mr. Kent needs help, right? And they know that Mr. Kent is usually in room 204, whatever it is. But what happens if Mr. Kent is in the hallway, right? This map gives that visual representation of exactly where that individual is, so someone can go and provide help. So really, really powerful situational awareness. Now, if it is something bigger than a medical emergency or fight, if it is an active shooter situation, someone sees a gun on campus, right? Same badge, instead of pressing it 3 times, they just continue to press this badge over and over again. There's several different things that happen when the school goes into lockdown. First thing, so we take these strobes, right? And we have these placed in every classroom. We have them in hallways, every about 50 or 60 feet. We have them in entrances and exits in big rooms like auditoriums or media centers. We're going to have multiple of them. Essentially, we want everywhere inside of the building, someone to be line of sight so they can see these flashing strobes. There's a couple of other things that happen as well. We take over every single screen with a lockdown message.
Lockdown, lockdown, lock the doors, stay away from the windows.
So,
Encerrarse, encerrarse. Cierren las puertas con llave.
right?
Manténganse lejos de las ventanas.
So that's all customizable, right? You can customize the screen takeover. You can customize the language that goes over the intercom system. Sylvia, if you can go to the next slide, we'll see that all these different integrations. So they initiate it from the badge just within a couple of seconds. You get the lights, you get the intercom, you get the screen takeover. So everyone on campus knows they need to get safety. And then not only do we notify your local response team, but we also have the option of notifying your local 911, your local PSAP as well. It's really up to the school district and how they want that to work. There's no additional cost. It really just depends on how that PSAP, how that 911 center wants to receive that information. So lastly, the one unique thing about our solution is that it is based on wireless technology. So there's one gateway that gets installed per school, per building. That's to give us internet access so we can see our equipment. All of this equipment that we deploy is completely wireless. These batteries here will last approximately 3 years. Benefit is that it's a very cost-effective installation. So your IT team, your facilities team doesn't have to run a lot of wires. There's no uplift. They don't have to buy servers. They don't have to buy racks or switches or anything like that. So very, very cost effective. Also, because of this mesh network that we have, which is based on a couple technologies, one called Zigbee, one called Bluetooth Low Energy, it gives us very long distance so we can cover your entire campus, but also it's self-healing. So if you have a kid that bashes one of these out with a baseball bat, or batteries fail, if you have a battery that fails, the system heals around itself and it will continue to operate. Now, the last thing is, and Sylvia, if you can move to the last slide, it is on what we call hardware as a service. So this is an emergency notification system. It's a life safety device. It's not okay for someone to push a button and for things not to work. So we monitor every single piece of equipment. It's our equipment. It's our responsibility to make sure it continues to work. Someone inside of our company right now, they know what the battery life is of this. They know how fast it's draining, and we come out and we do that work and we replace those batteries. So as long as you're a customer, you're not on the hook for replacing those batteries from a maintenance perspective. So that's a really high level. As I said, there's a lot more detail. So if you'd like some more information on crisis alerts, please do reach out at CENTEGIX.com. We'd love to get in touch with you and show you a broader demo and how it can work in your schools.
Excellent, Rob. I'd like to add a few things to that. I think there are some points just that if I were a listener, I'd want to kind of write down and take away that I think are real differentiators. Rob, you touched on a couple of them. I think adoption of crisis alert, there isn't a mobile app download that's required. This is, as Rob showed you, and it's on the screen, there's a badge. It's 100% adoption. It's up to the school. to pass them out, but very simply, you put it around your neck and you wear it.
Yep.
And it's instant adoption from that point of view. So, contrary to some other technologies where we have to get, you'd have to get through the end user to put something on their phone. And, it's just very simple in that regard. Number two, reliability. I think Rob talked about that. We have a dedicated safety network that we deploy, the Zigbee Bluetooth Low Energy network that he mentioned. It's not dependent on in-building Wi-Fi or really anything regarding cellular. A couple more I'm just thinking of. So response, very fast response. Our goal with this particular product is to give the fastest possible responder response possible. So with the most information. So we'll talk about ways in which we can provide greater information. Location is a really specific one that Rob mentioned, with being able to be very granular on where an emergency alert has occurred. And lastly is the usage piece. 98% of our usage is not the ultimate lockdown worst case scenario. It's everyday usage, medical, behavioral issues in schools or other types of facilities. And so this product is really designed to help someone get the help they need as fast as possible in any scenario. So those four things, again, adoption, reliability, response, and just daily usage, I'd really take away. So thank you for listening for a minute.
Vince, I'll jump in and add one more thing. So a couple times a year, we try to release a school safety report, which we actually just released today. And in it, we've got surveys from a lot of our staff members, from our customers. And there is a 97% of users feel like they are more safe when wearing that badge, which is just an absolutely huge number. So 97% of our users feel more safe inside of their schools because of Crisis Alert, which is a testament to how the platform actually works.
Yep. Well, thank you, Rob. Next up is Sylvia, who's going to give us an overview of our latest product, Safety Blueprint. Sylvia, take it away. Stage is yours.
Hey, thank you, Vince. Yes, my name is Sylvia. I'm going to be talking to you about Safety Blueprint. Really excited about this brand new product that we have. Before I get into the details of the product, I did want to mention a couple of things about some of the mapping tools that you have seen out there currently. One of the things that we have noticed about these current solutions is that they're static maps. They really become outdated very quickly once they are produced. And furthermore, customers have very little control over updating these maps as the facilities change. If there's an update, they have to either have someone come in and redraw or reproduce the maps, and it's usually at some sort of cost. With Safety Blueprint, what we do is we provide a user editable architecture map of all the buildings, the assets, overlaid with safety and security items such as your AEDs, your alarm panels, fire extinguishers, and you'll see all of the things that we have available on this map. So essentially what it is, a Safety Blueprint is an industry-first dynamic digital mapping tool that uses innovative technology to combine that dynamic imagery, building floor plans, and those identified safety assets, really in an effort to optimize collaborative safety planning and critical incident response. So in talking with other risk managers over the years and working in the safety and security space myself as a manager, one of the things that we've run into is really trying to maintain information on all of the safety equipment that you're responsible for. So you're constantly having access control doors added. You may implement a bleed control kit program. You are introducing or purchasing more AEDs. And most of the time, this information you're maintaining in a spreadsheet, right? And so that can get really difficult, really cumbersome, particularly if you're trying to keep up with the maintenance schedules for the new equipment that you're adding. You may have other managers of other departments, say your risk manager, your safety manager, your security manager, all contributing information to the maintenance of this equipment. And so it gets difficult to maintain that information. It's coming in via email, or you may share these spreadsheets. and now you're running into version control issues. So really what we're trying to do is to have one-stop shop for all of this information and completely eliminate the version control issues that you run into. So the way it works is this, is you have a map of your facility and you'll actually add the assets to the map. So you have a visual representation of what the items are and where they are. And in addition to this visual representation, your risk managers are going to have access to reports. So as the information on the map is updated, and we'll show you how that's done in just a few minutes, but as that information is updated on the map, you're going to actually see the information in the database change. So this is going to give that information to all of your risk managers, everybody that has permissions to access the database. And we also have some enhanced features that are going to include the capability to set notifications for things like expiration dates or when maintenance is due. So I mentioned dropping the assets on the map. So what you'll have is you'll have teams that will walk your facility. You can assign those teams. You may want to do that yourself. We also provide some services to help support that capability. But as you're dropping the assets on the map, you can add some additional information to the asset itself, such as for this example that you see on your screen, you've got an expiration date, there's a model number, a serial number. And this is customizable for you as the customer. You're able to create custom fields, date fields, text fields, really to support the database that is going to have the information that's important to you. Additionally, these same maps can be shared with your local first responders so that they have the same information that you and your facility managers have. And they're able to see on the map where things like the alarm panels are, where the AEDs are. Do you have bleed control kits at your facility? So that's going to be very helpful in supporting those planning and those response efforts. And some other enhanced features that we have include layers added for information technology assets. So you have a list of some examples there, as well as some facility assets. And what this does is it really rounds out that multiple cross-functional functionality of your different departments for everyone that is responsible for safety and security. So we'll kind of step through what this looks like. What we do is we take your facility floor plans, we anchor that to a digital dynamic imagery. And as we all know that it's very critical during a response that everybody's map is oriented the same way. So we ensure that everybody's map is oriented north. So to avoid any confusion with either planning or response. And if you take a look at the map, so there's a couple of things. In the upper left corner, you notice that there's a hybrid view and a street view. So what you're looking at is the hybrid view or the aerial view. So this is the most current aerial imagery for this facility. And then what's really neat is up in the upper right corner, you've got a floor drop down. So in a lot of the solutions that you see out there today, you've got multiple pages for each floor. So you'll have a page for the first floor, second floor, et cetera. What you can do on this map is you can toggle to the different floor. And also too, once this the floor plan is anchored to the map, you have the ability now to maneuver the map. You can look at adjacent areas to the facility, or in this example, kind of really zoom in on some critical areas. So parking lots, maybe sidewalk entrances, gates, things like that. Again, to help support that planning effort. And so this is an example of the street view right here. Now, once we add what we call the foundation layer to the map, and it's live in Safety Blueprint, so the safety and facility managers, your teams, you can begin walking the campus and adding those assets directly to the map. And you can use an iPad to do this, or even a mobile phone. So we've been out in the field, we've tested it with mobile phones. It's very easy to use, and it actually is very quick. And we'll show you what that looks like. And I also do want to mention that we have some asset identification support services. So if you're a small facility and you need some support in that regard, we have some capabilities there as well. So the asset map, as we mentioned, it includes a street view or this hybrid view. And what's really important about being able to toggle back and forth between the two views is when we were testing this and we were looking at this out on the field, it's very simple to use that street view when you're in the facility, you're near the facility to drop those assets. But what we found very helpful was this hybrid view or this aerial view. So if you need to identify assets, say you've got utility shutoffs that are out by the street, or you've got key boxes that are located on the perimeter fence, it's very easy to just switch back and forth to whatever view is most useful for you. So just a quick step through of the process. We kind of walk through it, but this gives you a one-page view of it. What we do is we collect a scaled floor plan drawing from the customer, and then we take that drawing and we produce an outline scale drawing and anchor that to the dynamic map that you see, make sure that it's oriented north. And then once it's anchored to the map, it's live in Blueprint, you can begin adding those assets to the map. And once those assets are added, it's in the database. So now your risk managers have access to information such as how many of a particular safety asset is on site at a campus, and what their maintenance schedules are. So now what I'm going to do is kind of get into the details of the type of information that's built on the map. So the customers can purchase either a core version of Safety Blueprint, and that includes everything that you see here in the left-hand layer, the left-hand columns there. So you've got your safety and security layer, and your AEDs, your eyewash kits, emergency exits are also listed, your security information, and your visitor check-in. We also have some enhanced packages, and they include some advanced reporting and analysis features, some notification features, a few more icons to provide a little bit more detail to your maps and your inventory. And there are 3 packages to choose from. So the first is the safety and security layer that you see here. We also have that information technology layer. There's some examples of the type of assets that would be included in that. And then finally, the facilities layer. And there's some examples of, again, those cross-functional assets that apply to both facilities as well as safety and security. And then all of the enhanced Safety Blueprint packages do come with those core safety and security assets, no matter what you purchase, and all of the core reporting features. So now what we're going to do is show you what it looks like if you're actually out in the field with your map and your tablet. What we've done here is we've added a few assets already to show you what it looks like. So say these are already on your map, you can open up, there's an AED near the front exit. We have a water shutoff out by the street, another AED and a bleed control kit co-located. What we're going to do is we're going to go up to the 2nd floor here, and we're going to zoom in on this stairwell and add this evacuation chair. Once we drop that on the map and add some details, we can now add a picture of what the evacuation chair actually looks like. And once it's on the map, it's there for anybody that has permission to view this information on the map, as well as anybody that has access to the information in the database. And then the next thing I'm going to talk about here is I'm going to talk about this, what is really a powerful capability, and that's the map editing capability. So you have the ability to edit your map, make changes to your facility floor plan at any time. And I do want to emphasize that there's some version control built into this system. So, say you make a change to your map and maybe there's an error there, you've always got the previous version to revert back to, or maybe you have a temporary build. So you have a temporary cubicle set up that's going to come down after a period of time. You won't have to redraw your map every time. You can just go back to that previous version once you're at the end of that program. And then on the right side of the screen is scenario building capability, which I really like. You can use that core foundation map to create as many scenarios as you want without actually making any changes to the foundation map. So you can take that core map and you can draft planning scenarios if you have facility layout changes and you want to try looking at some different evacuation route scenarios, staging areas, reunification, plan your shelter operations, or if you've got a security enhancement proposal, say you're planning to add a secure vestibule or maybe a fencing project, you can create those scenarios and share those with your decision makers, which is really going to help them understand what it is that you're looking for. And this is how easy it is to make those changes to the map. It's really literally just dragging and dropping walls, doors, windows. And then on the right side, we're going to show the planning capability. My map is stopped.
PowerPoint.
Pause there for a second. Sorry, guys.
Yeah, PowerPoint belly up for a moment.
Yes. I'm going to stop sharing and go on mute for just a moment. Maybe a good time if we've got some questions.
Yeah, actually, that's a good point. So for those of you, I needed to remind, I should have reminded previously, there's a Q&A section. Please feel free to ask some questions if you have any. Again, we'll have time at the end of the session to get to questions. Probably have a fair amount of time. So submit everything you got. Look forward to answering a few. You back up and running? Did we? Oh, we lost Sylvia completely. Okay. Well, I'll get to the question on blueprint mapping. I will tell you that the maps that are produced, in particular, their layers that Sylvia mentioned, the first and most important layer is the foundation layer. And that is essentially the architecture of the site or the school in particular. And Louis, those are GPS coordinate driven. When they're mapped, there are 2 GPS points that are used to kind of pivot around. So everything inside that building ends up with a corresponding GPS or GIS mapping point, and that includes assets. So the architectural diagrams, the foundation layer, are GIS formatted, if you will, because of the GPS coordinates. And again, every time you lay an asset in, it's going to have a coordinate. That actually makes things really easy. If you think about large school districts, for example, reporting on where all of your assets are, it actually gets a lot easier when you have that kind of capability. All those points are stored in that way. It's very easy to do some queries on that and get some good data. Sylvia?
Yes, can you hear me? I'm so sorry.
Okay, are you ready to kick back in?
I am ready to continue. Thank you for the save, Vince.
No worries.
All right. So I did want to mention a couple of notes on setting up the maps. Like anytime you're going to create any type of architectural drawing, you need a starting point, right? So the best starting point is going to be an existing drawing from either an architectural firm or some other source where the map is drawn to scale. Some examples of improved maps, these type of maps that we would need to create that foundation are listed here. So an architectural map, a good starting point may be an as-built, or maybe a structural, mechanical, electrical, plumbing map, or a fire safety map. What we're really looking for is we're going to be looking for, are the walls shown? Is it drawn to scale? Are all the rooms shown? Are the doors listed? Are they provided on the map? So here's an example of what you may what we may usually collect from a customer, right? So this is a typical floor plan drawing. We'll take this drawing and we will load that. We'll create that foundation layer for you. Now, we do understand that there are going to be circumstances when the floor plan just simply isn't available, or maybe you don't have a scaled version. So we do have some map service capability available to help support you in creating that drawn map. And one thing that I also want to mention is once we create these maps for you, they belong to you. They are your maps. We do not, they don't belong to us. They are your maps to be able to use in support of all of your safety and security planning efforts. So just to recap, again, we're going to work with you to identify the appropriate documents or maps that are going to be needed. Or we can, again, we can go on site to help create that starting image for you to create that foundation blueprint map from. So if that scaled map does need to be created, we can provide support to you. Also, we have some asset identification services. So if the organization or the customer needs us to help mark the initial set of assets to get you started, we do have some services where we can work with you and schedule somebody to go on site and help you build that first layer. But again, customers are always able to perform their own identification of assets as soon as that map becomes live in the system. And you're always asked to make sure that you validate our maps, your information on there. But it's really up to you guys how you want to design your program. And we've covered a lot of information today. A lot of the graphics are going to be available on our website as well as a lot of the information that I've covered. So please be sure to check out our safety blueprint page at CENTEGIX.com, or if you've got any specific questions that you think of after this call, please go to info@CENTEGIX.com. And with that, I'm going to turn it back over to Vince again and see if he has anything that he wants to mention that I missed, or if there's any additional questions on the blueprint.
Yeah, thank you, Sylvia. Again, reminder to everyone, Q&A questions, there's an area there for you to enter questions. Please do so. Look, fundamentally, we really believe that Safety Blueprint is a massive improvement for our customers and their maps. Most maps today, as many of you know, we have static maps. Someone comes out, we map a facility, and then ultimately we're given a piece of paper, and that's the map for the next year until the year or two or whatever period of time until someone comes out again and updates the map by doing a physical walk. With this tool and this product, your teams will have the ability to keep not only your schools, but facilities, folks that run your schools, your other organizations, even your IT department could have a specialized layer. I know Sylvia touched on that, but you'll be able to keep all of that managed very simply, dynamically, and at your fingertips at any point in time. I think Sylvia touched on the roles associated with the different layers. The product supports Active Directory so that we'll be able to assign ownership of certain types of layers to particular roles, add, edit, delete type functions. So you're able to really manage permissions on who has access to what and who can edit different layers on those maps. So really powerful, really dynamic, configurable. And last thing I'd say is it's integrated. It's integrated to everything that we're doing at CENTEGIX. It's going to be integrated back into our core crisis alert mapping product. It also will come forward in some things that Emily's just about to talk about with visitor management. So next up is Emily. And Emily, you're ready to go. Just take it away.
Yeah, absolutely. So I am from Identikid. My name is Emily Faluzis. I'm their general manager. And I've been with Identikid for a very long time. We have over 35 years in experience in schools and over 22 years in visitor management specifically. So we started out as just a way to digitize the front office clipboard that's within your schools, and we evolved with customer feedback to become one of the largest visitor management systems across the nation. So we've got over 7,000 locations nationwide in 42 states and growing. And we are utilized for so many different things within the school, which is, I think, why we were acquired by CENTEGIX in 2022. We let you guys know this year. And really, we've got a lot of great things coming, including, like Vince said, working with the other products listed today, like the crisis alert system and the blueprint map. We are known for our integrations and partnerships across the education space, including PowerSchool, School Information System, Sterling Volunteers, ClassLink, and now Crisis Alert. Not only are we used for visitor management, we are also used for staff volunteer management, and probably most utilized the student management side for tardies and early releases within the system. So we're trying to be a safety solution as well as efficiency within your school. We're able to screen your visitors against the National Sex Offender Registry, as well as what we call our no-go list. And the no-go list is a custom list at the school and district level to manage any of your custody and banned individuals. I've even seen schools just use it as an easy way to alert administrators when certain people come on campus in case they need to address them. As I had mentioned, the tardies and early releases are probably the most common thing that we have within our schools on a day-to-day basis. It saves schools hours a day being able to process those students through the solution. And they're also able to manage volunteer activities like hours on campus. And we can automate their background screening process through Sterling Volunteers. Same thing with your vendors, being able to know what sites they're on and how long they're there, and your staff hours. Everything is reportable, so it logs all of those transactions, and you're able to pull reports that are within the system at the site level or the district level, like give me anybody who's on campus at this time, all the way to show me all my volunteer hours district-wide at the district level. So it's a very dynamic and easy to pull reporting solution. What we're bringing, why we're brought into the fold with this is we're bringing you a highly utilized visitor management system that is able to fit your security policies, whether you want to leverage it as a kiosk solution or with an attendant, and use all of the great features of our visitor management solution. But then we're bringing the technology behind the crisis alert wearables, modifying it and leveraging it within the visitor management system to be able to take it a step further, not just log transactions on where somebody should be and why they're here, but actually register a badge that is locating to those visitors, vendors, and volunteers that are on your site, and be able to actually locate them at any given time. And in an emergency. So they will wear one of those wearables, and you will be able to receive location information down to the spot that they are in real time. There will be the map that we've discussed in depth throughout this webinar, viewable to you so that you can see exactly where they're at. So this map shows up within the crisis alert system, the blueprint solution, and the visitor management system. We will also have zones so that you can manage if they have, you can manage where that visitor is, and if they're within the appropriate location, and how long they are on campus, and if they've elapsed that time that they are allotted. The notifications are extremely discreet. and configured to your site, and you're able to access the live heat map as well as all of the alerts between a desktop, tablet, mobile, and badge notifications. So receive them in multiple ways to any of the administrators that you need. This is a visual of what that wearable badge will look like. It is different than the badge that was mentioned earlier. The badge earlier cannot be located at any given time. It's only when it activates an emergency, but this badge is something that you would pass out to those visitors you want to see while they are on campus, the entire time they are on campus. So you'll be able to see them on your live heat map and in any case of an emergency, which really bridges that gap of not just where are my staff and students in an emergency, but where are also my visitors, volunteers, and vendors that are on site today if you were to have a lockdown. So how is this process going to change? For your normal visitor check-in process, your visitors will still come in, scan their driver's license, select why they're here and where they're going, but you'll have a badge that's registered and swiped within the check-in process and assigned to that visitor that's coming on campus. You'll then have a live heat map to be able to actually see where they are all the way down to the building. What is great is you'll have also a historical log of where that visitor is, so that if you need to go back in time and see how long someone was on campus and exactly how long they were in a certain area, which is great for your volunteer and vendor hour reporting and for accountability of those individuals, you'll be able to retrieve that information and report it to people who are needed. The alerts, just to get a little bit more in depth about the alerts are going to be around the visitors' approved and unapproved areas. So if they're supposed to be within the cafeteria for visiting for lunch and they are within a classroom, you will receive a notification, as well as if they should only be here for an hour and that time has elapsed, or even if they've left with a badge. So say they forgot to check out, or they did check out and they left campus with that badge, you want to make sure that you are notified. You will also have access to volunteer and vendor badges, and this is out to our current customers, and we've received absolutely nothing but positive feedback and just ways we can grow the systems that we've talked about today together. I wanted to visualize for you guys a little bit more about the visitor management system. We are providing you the license scanning and offender screening, the custody match and guardian pickup, student attendance logging, printed visitor badges, volunteer staff hours. You have the option for a kiosk. I would say probably 75% of our customers utilize the system with a kiosk mode because it is safe and secure and very intuitive to use. At the district level, we have more robust district functionality like single sign-on with your identity provider, district level reporting, even district custom banned persons lists, on-site support options for those who need it, and as I mentioned earlier, third-party integrations and partners that we're really known to connect with. But where we're enhancing this is by connecting with the other solutions and bringing you more of that real-time visitor locating, the dynamic live heat map of where everybody is, zone and time management, historical reporting, which I think is going to be really critical at the district level, the badge asset management, and the volunteer and vendor credentialing. I wanted to walk you through our solution and how our visitors check in. We scan the driver's license. You may receive an alert for if they have flagged against the offender registry. And then we're also able to process those tardy students. The visitor process will be updated so that they can scan this badge that's on the screen. And then they will actually wear that badge around their neck and go on campus. They are not supposed to take this off, and you'll be able to locate them as they move around campus from room to room or site to site, and how long that they've been there. This is just an example of what that might look like once it gets into your hands. Everything, if you were to receive an alert, everything is going to be very visual for you. Like I said, this could be pulled up on your mobile device, on a desktop. It is living within the visitor management system. You have that historical reporting, so you can see when they left the front office, how long they were in the hallway or a certain room, and when they came back to that front office and ultimately checked out. So I think that's going to be very important when you are going back and looking at incidents in particular. And that's ultimately what I have to show you guys today, our visitor management system with the option of enhanced visitor management. If I forgot anything, Vince, you can close it up.
Good stuff, Emily. Again, I think one of the things that we're, as a company, all of these products are highly integrated, and they're going to, and that's our commitment in terms of innovation back to our customers, is to keep adding more and more functionality to these products. And I think leveraging the core strengths of the underlying platform, which is network and location and wearables. And I think you see that come through with what we're doing here with enhanced visitor management. I think Emily and team have built a leading visitor management product and organization, and we're happy to kind of combine the two of them and bring this new product forward. So really excited about that. We've got a question, and by the way, before I do continue, thank you, Ted, for the question. If anyone else has them, get those questions in, because we'll want to move through them pretty quickly. Emily, there's a question here. I don't know if you can see it, so I'll read it. How can Identikid be used during a reunification event? Would you like to take that?
Absolutely. So one of the things I think is most important is to really preface by saying those integrations are key. So Identikid at its nature is a check-in and check-out solution. And our schools and districts across the nation really tailor the system to fit their needs, whether they need to track your visitors, students, volunteers, and reunification. We are not a reunification product, but we do have customers that set up student check-in badges and check-out badges and tie that with the custody information that we store within the solution to digitize any of their manual processes that they might have now. And so they're able to see, just like you would a student tardy or early release, be able to see that those students who would show up to reunification site and even manage and monitor who is coming to pick them up and who they are leaving with. So at its core, we store that student information and custody information within the system, and we're able to process check-ins and check-outs to reunification sites. But we hope to evolve that functionality and really leverage the systems displayed today to bring you guys something more robust and unique to the market.
Thank you, Emily. Yeah, I think that was the point I was making just a moment ago. We want to continue to build on the strengths of all of these products and more integrations with inside of themselves as products, but also integrations outside to other products and companies that are part of the ecosystem. We're really spending a lot of time on that as an organization too. I would like to ask for, I guess, I think a final. Anyone on the panel have any more comments they'd like to make? And again, if you have any questions to the audience, please get them in. But anybody on the panel, would you like to add anything while we wait on potential questions? No, it's a trick question. Okay. All right. Well, there appear to be no further questions, so I want to thank everyone for all of your time and your participation and listening today. Again, I hope that the webinar has been helpful. I think if you need any further information, just contact whoever your primary, you may already have a primary CENTEGIX representative that's been in touch. Otherwise, get in touch with us at the email address you see on your screen. This concludes our session, so have a great day. Thank you very much again.